He wanted revenge, not fatherhood, but when Commander Ryan Vale's arrogant alien rival woke up pregnant with his child, the galaxy lost its mind. Every world wanted his head, and she wanted his heart, just so she could break it. One human's grudge just became the most dangerous diplomatic scandal in the universe. Commander Ryan Vale had faced plasma storms, mutinies, and a 10-hour firefight on the edge of a collapsing wormhole. But nothing tested his patience like Ambassador Kalara Drix. The Aquatic Council Hall shimmered beneath a dome of glass and light. Schools of luminous fish drifted past as delegates argued over trade routes. Rian leaned against a railing, jaw set, while Kalara's voice, calm, precise, and painfully smug, echoed through the chamber. "Human impulsiveness remains the galaxy's most persistent hazard," she declared, eyes glinting silver. "Your species treats diplomacy like target practice." A few diplomats chuckled. Ryan smiled thinly. "Funny," he said, loud enough for every recorder to catch. "We seem to be the only hazard keeping your worlds from burning." The laughter shifted. Some gasped, some whispered. Kailara's perfect composure cracked for half a second, a tiny tremor in her head crests. But it was enough. He'd landed the hit. After the session, she cornered him near the transparent elevators. "You enjoy embarrassing yourself in public?" "Only when I get to take you with me," Ryan replied. Her expression hardened into marble. "Your planet's seat on this council is charity, Commander. Try not to confuse it with respect." He could have walked away, should have. Instead, he smiled. Maybe respect is earned in closer quarters. A warning spark flickered in her eyes, but she didn't bite. She simply turned, the hem of her copper robe catching the light like fire. Watching her go, Ryan felt a dangerous idea ignite. The council chair interrupted his thoughts with a weary sigh. "Commander Vale, Ambassador Drix, your rivalry is threatening the Orcs treaty. You'll both accompany the inspection mission to Outpost E7. 2 days, together, no aids, no theatrics. Learn to cooperate or I'll recall you both." Rian nodded, fighting a grin. Kailara's glare could have melted steel. "Congratulations," she muttered. "You've trapped us both." "Just doing my diplomatic duty," he said, voice smooth, heart already racing with reckless satisfaction. As the council lights dimmed, Ryan glanced at her departing figure through the glass corridor. Somewhere in the deep blue shimmer of Aqua Prime, a storm was brewing. And for once, it wasn't on the horizon. It was between them. The shuttle ride to Outpost E7 felt longer than any interstellar campaign Commander Rian Vale had ever fought. Kailara Drix sat across from him, posture immaculate, reading from a holographic console as if he didn't exist. Outside the viewport, the gas giant below churned in slow, furious swirls of gold and violet, beautiful but unstable. A perfect metaphor for the woman glaring at the clouds instead of at him. Ryan tried to break the silence. "So, Ambassador, ever worked with humans this closely before?" Her silver eyes didn't lift. "Not with any who insisted on breathing the same air." He grinned. "You'll get used to it." "I intend not to." The shuttle jolted through turbulence. For the briefest instant, she reached out, reflex, not affection, and steadied herself on his arm. The contact lasted a heartbeat, but her quick withdrawal spoke louder than words. Outpost E7 was smaller than expected, a lonely ring of glass and alloy suspended above an endless storm. The director, a polite insectoid named Vrix, welcomed them with the enthusiasm of someone hosting 2 bombs in a single room. "Our mission is routine," Vrix buzzed. "Survey energy readings, maintain peace, avoid emotional explosions." "Understood," Ryan said. Kailara gave a thin smile. "Your concern is noted." The quarters were compact, too compact. A single shared control deck, 1 narrow galley, and a wall so thin that every irritated sigh carried through it. By the second hour, Ryan had counted 12. When the evening storms intensified, they joined the crew for a welcome ceremony. Alien music shimmered like liquid glass. Kailara accepted a crystal goblet of Seren nectar, its surface glowing faintly blue. "Careful," Ryan warned, half-joking. "Human biochemistry doesn't mix well with alien cocktails." She arched a brow. "Fortunately, I'm not human." Then she drank. Later, as lightning cracked across the clouds, the outpost lights flickered and died. Emergency systems failed. The corridors plunged into darkness. Rian's hand found her shoulder in the dark, steadying her as the floor trembled. "Don't tell me this was part of your cooperation plan," she said. "Not yet," he replied, voice low, pulse quickening. Outside, thunder rolled like a living thing. Inside, two enemies stood inches apart, trapped in the dark, both pretending the storm was only outside. The outpost trembled as the storm outside reached its peak. Bolts of violet lightning clawed. At the viewing windows, each flash carving Kailara's face into sharp lines of light and shadow. The power had failed an hour ago. Oxygen filters ran on emergency reserves. The temperature dropped by the minute. Ryan Vale worked by touch, rerouting systems through manual panels. Sparks bit his fingers, but he ignored the pain. "If these circuits freeze, we lose heat for good," he muttered. From behind him came her clipped voice, steadier than his hands. "You should conserve your strength. Human endurance is limited." "Appreciate the concern," he said, teeth chattering, "but I'm too stubborn to freeze before you." She almost smiled. Almost. When the last power cell sputtered out, the room fell into a quiet that wasn't peace. It was the heavy quiet before confession. Ryan unsealed his thermal jacket and held it out. "You'll need this more than I will." Kailara hesitated, pride wrestling with instinct. Her people weren't built for cold. Her breath misted in the dim light, every inhale shallower than the last. He didn't wait for permission. He stepped closer, wrapping the jacket around her shoulders. "Don't make it weird," he said softly. "Consider it a diplomatic gesture." Her laugh, small, disbelieving, broke through the tension like sunlight through fog. They sat close, back to back, sharing the warmth that little fabric could give. For the first time since meeting, there were no titles, no ranks, just two beings waiting out a storm. She spoke first. "You think this is amusing, Commander?" "I think it's ironic," he replied. "I spent months trying to prove humans deserve respect. Now I'm just hoping we both survive long enough for you to insult me again." Her voice lowered. "Maybe I was wrong about your kind." He turned his head. "And maybe I was right about you. You're not as untouchable as you act." She met his gaze, eyes reflecting the storm's glow. "Careful, human. You're beginning to sound almost likable." Another tremor shook the room. Her hand found his arm, not consciously, just seeking balance, and didn't move away. In the silence that followed, warmth became something else. Outside, the storm began to calm. Inside, something far more dangerous had begun. Morning light crept through the fractured glass panels of Outpost E7, painting pale streaks across the floor. Commander Ryan Vale opened his eyes to the soft hum of restored power and the sound of silence heavier than any explosion. Kailara Drix stood at the viewport, arms folded, staring into the endless gold clouds below. Her diplomatic poise was back, every movement controlled, deliberate. Only her reflection betrayed her. Eyes too bright, mouth drawn too tight. "About last night," Ryan began, voice low. "There was no last night," she cut in. "It was an error in judgment, caused by exhaustion, temperature loss, and poor impulse control." "On both sides," he said. "On yours," she corrected, not looking at him. He almost laughed, but stopped. The air between them had changed. Something invisible lingered, unspoken, undeniable. By midday, the transport arrived to return them to Aqua Prime. Neither spoke during the flight. The silence felt safer than words, yet when Kailara touched her temple mid-journey, pale and unsteady, Ryan noticed. "You all right?" "I'm fine," she replied. It sounded like a lie even to her. Back at the council headquarters, the world moved on as if nothing had happened. Reports filed, missions logged, faces smiling behind diplomatic masks. But Kailara avoided him until the day she collapsed mid-session. Ryan was across the room before anyone moved. Her skin, usually bright as molten copper, had faded to ash. Medical drones swarmed, lifting her carefully onto a stretcher. "Stay back, Commander," someone warned. He didn't. In the sterile white of the infirmary, the doctor's tone was measured, clinical, yet each word landed like a blow. "There's no precedent for this," she said. "Human and Seren genetic codes shouldn't align, yet somehow they have. Ambassador Drix is pregnant." Ryan froze. Every thought scattered. Kailara turned her face away, voice breaking for the first time. "This is impossible." The doctor hesitated. "Apparently not." For a long moment only the pulse monitors spoke. Then Ryan found his voice. "We'll figure this out." Her eyes flashed, hurt, furious, terrified. "You've already done enough," she said. And as the door sealed between them, Ryan realized the real storm hadn't passed at all. It had just changed shape, and this time it carried both their names. The news broke like a meteor through glass. Within hours, every network in the galaxy carried the headline, "Human Commander Impregnates Seren Diplomat, Genetic Miracle or Scandal." The council chamber buzzed with outrage. Delegates shouted about ethics, violations, contamination. To them it was politics. To Ryan Vale it was personal. He stood before the tribunal, hands clasped behind his back, uniform spotless, expression steady. Inside, his pulse thundered. Across the room, Kailara sat in silence, her face unreadable, her composure rebuilt like armor. The chair's voice cut through the noise. "Commander Vale, do you confirm your involvement in this event?" "Yes," Ryan said without hesitation. "Every action was mine." "The ambassador bears no fault." Kailara's head snapped toward him. For a heartbeat, her eyes softened, then hardened again. "Don't play the martyr, Commander. I was there. I made choices too," gasps rippled through the room. The chair blinked. "You both consented?" Kailara's jaw tightened. "We both were human in our mistakes. That admission changed everything." The shouting stopped. The silence afterward was louder than chaos. Later, when the chamber emptied, she found him waiting by the viewing window, looking out at the slow-moving whales beneath the ocean dome. "You didn't have to protect me," she said quietly. He shrugged. "Maybe I wanted to." She studied him, tired but honest. "The child complicates everything. My government will strip my title. Yours will use this as propaganda." "Then let them," Ryan said. "We've both seen worse wars. Maybe this one's worth fighting." For the first time she smiled, small, real, unguarded. "You humans never stop turning disaster into hope. It's our best flaw," he said. Months later, the world didn't end. The council adapted as bureaucracies always do. Scientists called the unborn hybrid a living bridge, proof of unexpected compatibility. Politicians called it the start of a new era. Ryan and Kailara called it theirs. When she finally gave birth beneath the shimmering waters of Aqua Prime, the infant's first cry echoed through the chamber. "Strong, strange and full of life," Kailara whispered. "He carries both our worlds." Ryan held her hand. "Then maybe both our worlds finally have a chance." Outside, the ocean was calm again. Inside, the storm had finally found its peace.